Yes, so that's all about what the markets are doing right now. Let's move forward. Just two trading days left for 2022, and all throughout the week, we have been trying to get you the top picks for 2023. And for that, once again, we are being joined by our chartist Kunal Bothra, and we will be getting the third pick from him for 2023. And on the fundamental side, we are being joined by Sedani, who is a Senior Vice President at AnandRathi Shares and Stockbrokers. A very good morning, gentlemen.
Along with Kunal, we also have Siddharth Sedani joining us on the show today. A very good morning to you, Siddharth. And before we move on to talk about which is your top pick in the year 2023, let's talk about what the markets are doing. Pre-muted trades coming in for the markets over the past few trading sessions. Over the last 2 weeks, at least this week, the markets are doing absolutely nothing. It's been on practically a holiday mode. But keeping that in mind, what should retail investors do to protect their wealth?
Good morning, Cheryl, and thank you for having me on the show. Well, Santa, along with the market participants, are on holidays, so that's what markets are showing, and I think it's a little muted, sideways market after a small little correction which we have seen. Well, in this situation, one has to accumulate good quality plays at this current situation because this is an opportunity where you are getting good stocks for 2023 from here on. And with this perspective, don't worry. This is a phase which comes and goes in the markets with volatility. I think this is the right phase to accumulate good quality plays.
All right, so that's the take coming in on markets and Siddharth. 2022, if you look at the markets, at least we may end the year with a positive closing, but not with a big hurrah. But for 2023, which are your topics?
Well, Cheryl, for 2023, we are going with banks first, as Kunal also started with banks, and we would be starting with a private bank, that is ICICI Bank, with a target of 1094. A bank which has been really performing great. If I talk about numbers, NIMs grew by 26%, advances are up by 22%, profitability with 37% jump. So strong on the retail segment, and I think retail segment will keep growing for this company. NIMs are expected to grow further. Asset quality is quite stable. Overall, the results has been coming really very well. So ICICI Bank is my top bet, followed by the second company is Polycab. Polycab with a target of 3389, close to 3400. It's a great play in the wires and cable segment where they have a strong market share of 20% plus. FMEG, fast moving electrical goods, has been doing good. Profits in terms of numbers has been really good. 35% jump. Margins were up. We expect the main trigger for Polycab is the management is expecting 20,000 crore revenue by FY26, which is currently at 12,000 crore. So that's the main trigger. We believe Polycab looks very good, interesting in the FMEG and wires and cable segment.
Those are the top picks by the experts. Bank of Baroda making it to the charts for Kunal. And on the fundamental side, the picks coming in from the likes of ICICI Bank, Polycab, as well as Siemens from Siddharth. But with this, it's time to slip into a short break. Okay, moving on to the next counter. The question that we have is from Rakesh, and Siddharth. He is holding 5,000 shares of Nalco from a price of 47. He wants to know the long-term view in this particular counter. And recently, we have seen all these metal counters shining quite brightly. What will be your long-term target in this one, and the advice for him?
Well, Nalco has a good stock in the non-ferrous space, aluminum space, but I think Hindalco fits much better in terms of their balance sheet size, volumes, TCRC margins. So I think Hindalco is a better stock. I would suggest a switch from Nalco to Hindalco.
All right. This one is coming in from Somitra, and Somitra is one of our avid viewers on YouTube. And this time he's telling me also that he's trying a different style of questioning the fundamental analyst because he wants to know about DV's laboratory, Siddharth. He wants a 1 year growth projection, that's the medium term, and a 3 year growth projection, which I believe, would be terming as a long term for his investment. Percentage wise would help, he's saying, what sort of projections you have, because it will help him in his asset allocation as well when it comes to DV's laboratories. So, what's your take on this one? As far as I know, I think that Soumitra is already invested in DV's laboratories.
Well, absolutely. See, first of all, I don't have a 3 year projection as of now. I have a 1 year projection, which where we comes at 3,800 for the target of DV's lab. Let's talk about the fundamentals. Is one of the biggest players in the API space in the markets today. India imports 80% of the APIs today from China and many other places. So China plus one strategy, which if the world adopts, I think DV's lab is one of the plays which will benefit the most. So DV's lab in the API play last quarter results were little tepid and weak. But however, having said that, I think this quarter results, we are expecting good results, and this company is a very good company with a 3 year perspective and a 1 year perspective. Please hold on with DV's lab with a long term perspective.
Okay, moving on. Siddharth, Tanmay has bought 200 shares of Sasta Sundar at a price of 440. This counter we don't discuss much often, but looking at the move in this particular counter in 2021 saw a stellar move, but on a YTD basis now the stock is already down 40%. I don't see any improvement in the financials, but do you track this one, and can you help him? How long should he hold to recover the losses? Any hopes on that?
Well, we don't track this company, but however, having said that, this is a pharmacy distribution business which they are into. I think Flipkart is a new investor which has come in. But I believe these businesses will is more of a cash burn business where the sales is which is the most important. However, losses to make up is to switch and get into something plays like hospital businesses like Max Healthcare. I think this will try to recover your losses soon.
Siddharth, just a clarification on the previous query that was by Soumitra. So he was looking for a growth projection, as in the earnings growth projection, rather than a price target. Have you been able to pencil in anything for TVs by any chance?
Well, growth projections, we can expect around 15 to 16% CAGR growth projections for on earnings for next 2 years on a CAGR basis. So, earning wise, growth wise, this company is a fabulous company to be in.
Let me take the next query then. This one is coming from Santi. This one is also in the healthcare space, pharmaceutical space. It's for Ipca Laboratories. Wants to decide, wants expert view on fresh buy, that is accumulate this counter for medium to long term with a target expectation of 1,000 rupees per share. Do you think, Kunal, this one is achievable? 1,000 rupees per share makes sense to accumulate right now for Ipca?
Yeah, I think you can look to accumulate at current levels.
And what's your take on Ipca Laboratories on the fundamentals then, Siddharth?
Well, fundamentally, Ipca Lab is good, but I think better than that, I would suggest something API plays like granules or DAVs in the same space. So I'm not that gung-ho about Ipca. I think granules and DVs are much better plays.
Okay, Siddharth Bharat has a question. He wants to know the fundamental take on two counters, Genus Papers and Camlin Cocoa. What do you track these ones in? Because we have seen a stellar move in all of these paper stocks. So, would you like to advise to betting on any of these counters?
None of them, because I'm not covering these companies, and none of them looks quite attractive in terms of earning projections and growths are concerned. In fact, I would suggest my top picks of 2023, that is ICICI Bank, Siemens, and Polycab.
All right. The next one that I have is coming in from this question that I asked Siddharth. There are a couple of them only for you. They're only addressed to Kunal. So let me take this a long-term query from KJ Singh on India Mart. 7,700 rupees per share is the buy price, Siddharth. He's bought this counter 2 years ago. Now he wants to know whether it makes sense to stay put this with this counter, that is India Mart, for the longer term. Also, if you could share some price where he can average it out.
Well, I believe that one can come out of India Mart because the performance has not been coming. We've been covering this company, but we've not got that right perspective in terms of results and earnings are concerned. So I think you should come out in the same space in the platform business, new era, new age business. Apple India looks quite interesting to me. Today, the kind of mobile ad spends are coming. I think it's growing around 30% CAGR. So I am more a believer of something, the kind of business model Apple India has. So you can switch over from India Mart to Apple India.
Next question is from Chandrasekharan, and Siddharth. He recently he invested in Lemon Tree Hotels at a price of 85, but given the move after we saw some of the COVID news flow, and all of these reopening counters once again uh, moving downwards, what will be your take going ahead? And is that a hold for now, or any advice on the average?
Definitely a hold for now, Lemon Tree. We have a target of 110 rupees with a 1 year perspective. It's a mid-size, biggest hotel chain today. Overall, if I talk about third biggest chain, good plans of expansion, 600 plus hotel coming up in Mumbai. Maybe in next 1 year, that will bring in strong revenue growth for them. So Lemon Tree ARR's average room rates are improving, occupancy improving. So please hold on. Although because of this, again, the wave of COVID, which we've been hearing from China and again expected in India, this is giving little pressure on the company. Hold on with a target of 110.
Kunal, okay, Siddharth. Mayank is asking a query specifically for you. He's holding about 2,000 shares of Federal Mogul at a price of around 300 rupees per share. He wants to know whether he can add some more of this auto ank for the next 2 years. How is the future for this one looking like?
It's quite promising. You can add up further on Federal Mughal with a long term perspective. But with a caveat, please add up some of the more auto ancillary space in your portfolio, likes of Gabriel India, because Vande Bharat orders of Vande Bharat trains have come to Siemens, but the maximum of the shock absorbers will be supplied by Gabriel. So added with Federal Mughal, you can always add up Gabriel with a long term perspective.
Okay, but with this, we'll take a pause here. We'll be going for a break, but let's get back to taking all your stock queries. And before coming to that, just a note to our viewers that we get around 4 to 5 stocks. You share it out of excitement, but in a limited time span, we can only take 2 to 3 counters. So, keeping with this, let's move on to the next query that we have, and this one is for you, Siddharth. Sahil wants to know your take on Greenply and BPCL. He has already invested in this one, Greenply at a levels of 160 and BPCL at a price of 454. What will be your advice?
Well, hold on with both the companies. On the BPCL front, we have a techno funda view also, and we are positive on that. Added to that, Greenply again, home decor, and other plays have been doing good. Volumes can come up in this quarters, especially on the second half. So Greenply and BPCL both are a hold from my end.
From cost of this one.
Okay, moving on to the next query. Siddharth Chitra has invested in Quest Corp at a price of 520, and what she's highlighting is that this counter is continuously falling. So she wants to know what is the long-term view in this particular counter, and for now, is that an advice coming into book losses, average out, hold? What will be your advice?
I think with a long-term perspective also, I think pain is still there in the stock. I would advise to book loss and come out, take an exit. Don't lose the opportunity with other companies. I think one should go with some stable companies or a mid cap if you want to go with. Polycap can be a good option alternative where you can recover your losses. So as of now, book out and go into Polycap.
Right, just a kind note for all of our viewers. Yes.
Okay, moving on to the next query. Siddharth Veni has bought 2 counters, NCC at a price of 90 rupees and BHEL at a price of 84. Sitting at a loss in both of these counters, but in the past 6 months, these counters have shown a stellar rally upwards. What will be your advice going ahead?
Well, with the second point of query, BHEL, again, it will take a good amount of time to go up because of the numbers and the balance sheet. Balance sheet is little weak. Sector is strong, but balance sheet is little weak. So BHEL will take a lot of time. So one can come out if in case if they require to. But the first stock, NCC, is definitely very promising. Strong order book from here on. I think 4x is what the revenue confirmation which we were getting on the order book. Very strong company, NCC, with asset monetizations is coming up for them. They're trying to retire some kind of a debts also. So NCC with target of 102, please hold on with a 1 year perspective. It's a great promising infra play.
Okay, the next question, Siddharth, is from Tapas Chandra, and he's holding Uno Minda near to its current market price levels. In the past 1 year, we have seen a stellar rally in all of these auto ancillaries, but can't say the same for Uno Minda. But going ahead in 2023, what should be the expectation?
Well, hold on with this auto ancillary Uno Minda. It's a promising play from here on. We can expect around 10 to 15% returns in next 1 year. It's a good play because it covers to most of the segment in the auto play, OEM play. So hold on with Uno Minda.
All right, Kunal, you can take that sip of next question to Siddharth then. And Siddharth, I found one query for you amidst all the short-term queries. I have this one coming from Abhishek Mehta. He wants an overview on KPR Mills. He's a long-term investor and he wants to know whether is it a good option to hold on to when it comes to the textile space. Do you think the KPR Mill stands out in the textile sector, or is it some other counter that he can look at?
So KPML is definitely very good to hold on with a long-term perspective. I think in the front end on the brand side also they've been doing good. They're generating good volumes. On the raw material side, they've been really rationalizing very well. So KPML is definitely a good play with a long-term perspective. But added to that, I am most confident on Aditya Birla Fashion and Arvind Fashion on this front on the textile apparel space. So Aditya Birla Fashion followed by Arvind Fashion are the two top picks on the textile space.
Okay, so that's the view coming in on textile space. But with this is Siddharth, the next one we have is for you. Shekhar has bought TCS at a price of 3,244 rupees. He wants to know, going ahead, is that a hold coming in or sell at these levels?
Certainly a hold because it's a large cap top leader in the IT tech space. I think a non-performance which we've been seen in the past. I think that will not be the future. I think December quarter is the quarter which we would be looking at. Added to that, January, what kind of a spends US companies will be getting? That is also one trigger which we will be seeing in the technology space. So definitely hold on with TCS. If you want to average, you can average it out also.
Right, the next one that I have from Indumati and technical view on Grindwell Norton Kunal. It believes that it's not bounced back from its 200 DMA. So what's the view from the short to medium term? Hold or add more? And the next
Okay, the next query is on a pharma counter. Siddharth, Sambi Reddy has bought 100 shares of Biocon at a price of 325. He wants to know, is there an advice to average out at these levels, or is that an exit for now? And if he is holding on to these levels, what could be the probable targets for the next 1 year?
Well, I believe ideally one should exit the company because of a reason that numbers are not coming by, results are a little weak. And I don't see on the biosimilar side a lot of launches coming soon from Biocon. So I would advise to exit Biocon. If you want to be in the same space, granules and DDs can be one of the good plays.
a query coming in from two queries coming in from similar space. One is Mohit Sharma Kunal wants to know whether to buy Tata Power at current levels, and the next query is coming in from one of our viewers.
Okay, so that the next question is from Akshay, and he's looking to invest in small cap names, and the two names that he has in mind is TCPL Packaging and Goldium International. Please advise what would be the better choice for 2 years time frame.
Well, none of them because we are not that positive on both the companies. In fact, in the small cap arena, if somebody is looking for investments, I think Sirma SGS technology is looking very good in the electronics slash Atmanirbhar Make in India concept. I think Sirma can be looked at in the small cap arena.
Let's kick start.
Siddharth, Abhi is holding to invest in sugar stocks. Triveni Engineering, Balrampur Chini, EID Pari are the names he has in mind. Any of them you would like to pick up?
In terms of balance sheet and size, Balrampur Chini is good.
Okay, Siddharth Harsharat bought IRCTC at a price of 890. What will be the advice?
I think better is to switch and exit the counter.
Okay, Siddharth, Jyoti Das had bought Jamuna Auto at a price of 110. Wants to know the short to medium term target.
Well, we do not have a short to medium term target, but with a long term perspective, it's a hold gem now.
Okay.
Okay, Siddharth, Padmasiv Rao is looking to invest in Chennai Petro at the present price. What will be your advice?
one can invest and hold on with 3 to 6 months perspective.
Okay, but with this, we are out of time in this rapid fire session, and it's a time to wrap this edition of Buy Now, Sell Now. Thank you so much, Kunal and Siddharth, for joining us today on ET Now and helping all our viewers with their stock related queries. But with this, it's a goodbye from me, Cheryl, and the entire team who put this show together. Thank you so much for tuning in, but don't go anywhere. Markets at noon will be taking the action ahead.